Good afternoon, everyone. It's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. I hope you're having a wonderful Thursday afternoon. It's time to get going on a story about JWoww or Jenni Farley from Jersey Shore. A lot of you have been asking for Jersey Shore content, and I thought, what better place to start than with JWoww, because this story has had me captivated actually for months. Maybe nearly damn near a year at this point. But she's been pretty silent about her divorce. Now, if you're not familiar with Jenni Farley, she is one of the stars of Jersey Shore. They call her JWoww. And she is going through an extremely messy divorce right now with her soon-to-be ex-husband, Roger Matthew. Now, the divorce got extremely messy this past summer, or was it December? When Roger went extremely public, like posting videos of Jenni screaming and yelling at him and announcing to the world that his wife was divorcing him and he was playing the victim. He uploaded numerous videos on Instagram, and this is where I found all of it back in December. And it was heart-wrenching, to be frank. He uploaded videos of her in the midst of a breakdown, crying at him, yelling at him. Clearly he had done something to provoke her and upset her. And instead of keeping it quiet, he decided to broadcast it, which then prompted Jenni to have to respond by uploading a statement on her website. And last night, and we'll go into all of that, but I want to start with that preface before we talk about what happens here. Now, on last night on Jersey Shore Family Vacation, see, Jenni has been avoiding talking about her divorce, and she's been doing it because she doesn't want it to be public, because they have two children. They have a little girl and a little boy, and her little boy is actually autistic. Jenni is a pretty cool advocate. She does a lot of stuff in terms of advocacy for making places more sensory friendly. So as an autism mom, I can definitely get on board with what she's doing there. And I thought it would just be appropriate that we talk about this because I can understand where she's coming from. So on the episode last night, this whole season, her castmates have been trying to get her to talk about the divorce, and she just won't do it. She had already filed for divorce when parts of these episodes had been filmed, and when her castmate Ronnie asked her to talk about it, she wouldn't. And she says she wants to protect her children, which I completely understand. She has a very, very public face. So here is how it all went down. While she was in the kitchen talking with Nicole Snooki Polizzi, she said, "I thought silence was for the greater good." And Polizzi, or Snooki, responded, "It is for your kids. Who wants this? SHIT out in public anyway. I guess he does." And Jenni Farley, or JWoww, responded, "As bad as our relationship got, I stayed effing quiet because that's what we're supposed to do. So to me, the ultimate betrayal is the fact that he went public." She said, "I didn't want to talk about it publicly out of respect for my children. So when the videos came out, I feel like it was a really, really low blow by Roger." And Nicole responded by saying, "Everyone was attacking Jenni for keeping the kids away from Roger when that's not even the truth. Little does everyone know, Jenni let Roger stay in the house after she filed for divorce so that he could be with his kids. But he would start fights in front of the children, so finally enough is enough, and she called the cops and said, 'You've got to get out.' But she never said Roger can't see the kids." So what she's responding to, and I have this, I don't have the clips anymore, but I do have the transcripts, so I'll kind of read to you the things that Roger said when this all went out. But he was like going on this rampage on Instagram, and it was really sad. Like, none of this should have ever been public, but he said, "All right, guys, I'm doing my best to stay composed right now, although I'm really upset for my children," said 43 Roger. "My wife earlier tonight, we had a disagreement because she's leaving again tomorrow for work and promised my daughter that she would be hanging out with her all day, whereas my daughter has the flu, so I took umbrage to it, and a little bit of a disagreement, I would say, ensued. Jenni became completely uncontrollably emotional, like she always does, and said she was calling the police. And I said, for what? What did I do? I said, I'll call the police myself. So I called the police, and because I knew she would make some sort of false police report, which is typically Jenni, the last two exes can attest to that. I got woken up about 2 o'clock in the morning by two officers who said she contacted a judge and filed a restraining order. This is the level my ex-wife takes it to after telling my kids their dad is a piece of shit and she's sorry she ever had children with him. She gets so emotional and irrational in her anger that this is the level she brings it to. Saddest day of my life is watching her tell my daughter she's sorry that she had children with your daddy. The truth will come out. The truth will set you free. I will never stop fighting. And then he went on to say in another video, my wife was screaming in my daughter's face, your father's a piece of shit. He's out there. He's out of here. He's out of here. I'm sorry I ever had children with him. I called the police to preemptively get ahead of what I thought she was going to do. If anybody on the face of this planet ever says that I was not there for my kids every day of my life, they're a liar. Every day I don't go away for months at a time, for weeks at a time. I'm always there for my children, always, and I'm not allowed to be there for my children anymore because somebody else is so hate-filled that they would do that to the father of their children, to a great father to their children. It's sad, man. It's just sad. And then he said, I'm sure you're going to see a tear-filled video soon of the greatest acting you've ever seen in your life of a woman crying and say she's operating in the best interest of her children. Stay tuned. Acting is acting, and the truth is the truth. He went on to say the truth he says, how does somebody combat, for lack of a better word, somebody that has insane popularity and is beloved and is on the #1 rated show of all time? The truth, that's how you combat them, the truth. And I'm telling you, I'm bringing the truth. He basically just accuses her of lashing out at her and screaming at her and screaming at him, calling him a crappy dad. He did this all on multiple Instagram lives. And he also posted multiple Instagram lives of her screaming and yelling after they had clearly had a fight. And she's talking about how he got physical with her. She's clearly upset. She's in a situation where she feels unsafe, and he's there videotaping her and broadcasting it and showing people that this is how his wife acts. It's kind of an emotionally abusive situation, I would say, if not physically abusive. So this put her in an extremely, extremely precarious situation. And she had to respond, and instead of doing a video or instead of doing anything, and yes, he's right, she's definitely in a situation where she has a lot of popularity, but at the same time, it's kind of unfair to post your dirty laundry like that and then expect her not to say anything. So she responded by saying through a statement that certain events transpired last night, which led to Jenni involving the authorities as she felt it was in her best interest and in the best interest of her children to do so. Any statements in social media posts depicting anything to the contrary are entirely false, misleading, and intentionally designed to cast Jenni in a negative light. She is proud to be a hardworking parent who provides for her children. While we have chosen not to comment further, we will note that the judge immediately ruled in Jenni's favor and issued a temporary protection order last night. So she ends up having to get a order of protection for her, but that didn't prevent Roger from seeing the kids. But he was going on and on and on about how she was withholding him from her kids. And that's where, if you remember, Snooki had to stand up for Jenni and basically said that Roger had gotten physical with her and had pushed her in the kitchen, which had ultimately led to her calling the police. Jenni had tried to stay quiet, and I guess this would be extremely hard because all of these videos were floating around, and she was just trying her best to get through this without all of this distraction and without all of this unfolding before her eyes. And she said to Snooki last night, people think that I got him arrested. That wasn't even the case because you wouldn't have your phone in the back of a cop car. They were being nice and giving him a ride home because he filmed behind in a cop car, not even lying. And she said, I just want this to calm down because I'm in the public eye and I just don't want this to get out of control. At the end of the day, he's still the father of my kids and I've got to keep it together. Everything that I do in this life today the kids come first, and for him to literally just piss on all of that and call me a piece of shit mom, that sucks. The last thing I want is this divorce to drag out. Thankfully, we have a prenup because this can't end soon enough. So he was like throwing a lot of shade, throwing a lot of nasty like comments about how she always had to travel, which is actually kind of unfair because that's her job, and she was traveling for work, and she was filming episodes or seasons of the Jersey Shore, and she films and then she's back with her kids. Lots of parents travel, specifically celebrities and individuals that film, in order to get money on the table for their kids. Roger's track record with work hasn't been the most successful, so somebody in that family has to work. So it's kind of emotionally abusive from this standpoint. And then I think things just kept getting more and more escalated, and I can understand she was upset, so she ends up writing this blog where she starts talking about how this relationship was really a piece of a mess. And on a now deleted blog from her website, she actually uploaded a video of him pushing her down and hitting her. And she said, and she wrote on it, "It's inconceivable that you personally researched the whereabouts and contacted ex-boyfriends of mine to inflict harm upon me after I filed for divorce, and you were removed from the home as a result of a TPO or TRO. It is unfathomable to me that because of your proactively contacting an ex-boyfriend of mine to team up against me, he was arrested for trying to extort money from me." So her ex-boyfriend ends up getting arrested because of all of this crap that he's doing. "You knew that the other ex from college was abusive so badly that I had to be hospitalized and was incarcerated for the violent acts against me. He was guilty of 3 counts of criminal contempt in the 2nd degree. He violated an order of protection multiple times. He even contacted me from jail after he was arrested, a violation of the same order. He showed up at my home, my work, my gym. It was all very frightening, and the PD placed a keeper alarm in my house for 24/7 safety. I confided in you about my painful past as a survivor of DV, how shameful that you used it to hurt me even further. When your own acts of DV against me were questioned, you chose to reach out to this unspeakable person in order to intimidate me. Your attempt to bring this heinous person back into my life, the mother of your children, after he nearly killed me, speaks volumes to who you really are. You are an abuser at your core, Roger." And then she shared a video of him harming her. So she has been stuck in this very precarious situation. And, when I looked at all of these statements and when I watched all of the videos and when I was watching all of his videos, I think the one thing that struck me more than anything in relation to Jenni is that if this is true, this is literally the 3rd person in a row that she's alleging that she's been involved with that she's had a DV relationship with. So, and she's now in a relationship already, which is fine. I mean, I'm not shading her for being in another relationship, but it concerns me that she would be in another relationship given her history of choosing men that are not kind and have a history of DV. So if there's 3 partners in a row with this specific background, I would just hope that she has had counseling and sought help and assistance to manage and navigate what it is about these men that draw her or why she's attracted to these type of men. And I really, really hope that this guy is not like that, because she does have 2 young children. He's very young. He's only 24 years old. She's 34. So that's also concerning. I mean, I don't have any issues with like younger relationships, but he's also a bodybuilder. He is a trainer. And with all of that comes anabolic steroids, which can lead to a lot of issues. And those are the types of guys she seems to be attracted to. So I hope that this guy is not like that. I hope that this is not going to end up the same way. I hope that at some point she can, and I don't even know if she is, but I really hope that she is taking care of herself and making sure that she places herself as a priority and not a relationship. I found her reaction and her statements last night heartbreaking, and I'm really like sad that the men in her life consistently do this to her. I wish she would just maybe take some time for herself and not go into another relationship so quickly and just focus on what her kids are going through right now. But obviously I can't make that decision for her, and I don't know what's going on in her mind. This is just my outside looking in, or inside, an outsider looking in, and having had my own experiences dating men that she's like the same types of men that she's attracted to. I will say the only way that I was able to break that cycle for myself and find a healthy relationship was going into therapy and working on some of the trauma I went through as a child that made me pick these types of people. And I hope that she's doing that for herself. All right, you guys, I'm going to be back. You're not even going to believe this, but I found where the puppy cam came from. I found evidence of the puppy cam video. And I don't have the video, but I'm telling you, I figured out where it came from. And I'm going to tell you all about it in another stream later this afternoon. So hang tight. And I'll do more Jersey Shore if this is what you like. So let me know if this is the kind of content you like related to Jersey Shore. Obviously, I like to do a mix of everything. I don't want to beat a dead horse with any one topic. And if there's other things that you'd like me to cover, make sure that you let me know. All right, you guys, I hope you have a great day, and I'll be back in a little while to talk about the puppy cam tape with Lindsay Chrisley.